AI is a tool. It's not the be-all, end-all that some people seem to think it is. It's just yet another really good tool. It's a tool, nothing more. I remember when Google started and people were freaking out. This is going to be the end of everything. And then we got social networking, like we got the Web 2.0, where you could publish your content onto the internet. You didn't have to go through the gatekeepers to get your word out there. And then everybody was freaking out. They thought it was the end of the world, right? Well, now we've got things like ChatGPT. And once again, everybody's freaking out. They think it's going to be the end of the world. It isn't. It's just a tool. It can't make really good thinking decisions. It just helps automate things. Maybe in the future we'll get there where it can actually replace people for thinking work. It can actually come up with a creative idea that's good. Right now it can't. It can come up with good ideas that are unoriginal, or it can come up with something creative that sucks, but it can't do both. And until it can do both, it's not going to really replace anyone for like the thinking work. It's not going to really, for example, replace a hiring manager or a recruiter really assessing a person on whether they're the right candidate for a really important job, where that person has to be a decision maker. We're nowhere near that happening yet. We're doing a bad enough job having people do that. AI is even worse at the moment and for the foreseeable future. It's like, yes, it automates things. It automates things just like the computer automated things. Once again, maybe some of you guys have been around since that time when the computer came in. For me, it was 1995. That was the inflection point where I first got on the internet, and like everyone was freaking out that the internet is here. They had computers, but they didn't have them connected. Everybody thought it would be the end of everything, and it did change. But you know what? Life goes on, and things get better. And that's just what AI is. Do you have to adjust? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. Will it make things worse or better? It'll make it better. But it can be a messy transition as we figure it out. There's no reason to fear it. I mean, think about it. All it's really doing for resumes is it's doing keyword matching and key phrase matching sometimes. That's all it's doing. Can you not outsmart that by feeding it the phrases that it wants? Of course you can. You take all the phrases they use in the job posting and you put them on your resume. If you can say it using their lingo. There you go. Was that hard? This thing is not that smart, and they're using it as a crutch so they could force you to deal with dumber and dumber people who don't know anything about anything, but they can sort of do the job because they're relying on AI to give them the answers like a crutch. Does that sound like it's getting impossible, or you know what I mean? You can't navigate that. And the beauty of it is that, hello, like I've said from the very beginning, most people don't get hired this way. They don't do any of this. They use networking. That's how it's always been. That's how it is now, and that's how it's going to be. I got to say my standard disclaimer. I don't expect you to just take my word for any of this. What I'd like you to do is, if this is shocking or surprising, or you think this is weird and radical, go out, do your own research, independent of me, independent of anyone. Go out and look up this stuff, learn about it. You'll find most people get hired through networking. Learn how networking works. AI doesn't come into it. People were freaking out about this when they had to get a computer and do their resume on the computer. They're like, oh my God, does this mean in the future, well, everyone will have to have a computer? That's terrible. I will be left behind. But who am I to get overly excited about it? AI is hilarious when it messes up trying to act like a human. Yeah, I know they're still working the bugs out of that. I'm waiting for the robots, right? That's going to be awesome. Once you get like a robot that can like do your bidding, that's what I'm waiting for. You can send your robot. Forget about the self-driving car. Send the robot in your regular car to go to the grocery store, buy your groceries, come back, put them in the fridge, and then go out and build you a fence around your house or whatever. Go and redecorate your house, or do all the cleaning, whatever. Just go and do stuff for me. Go build an extension on my house for me. That's what I'm waiting for. That's going to be awesome. The problem is they got to get the AI tuned, shall we say, before that happens. It's funny, I tried something new about half an hour before I went live, I went on ChatGPT and I used the voice feature for the first time. I know I'm an old guy, so you got to be patient with me. But so I was asking, so I said, like, look, I'm going to talk about this. What are some topics you could talk about? Now, previously, I've tested ChatGPT's limits by, can you get it to talk about this and that? And it's like, yeah, you can get it to talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, all this violence and all that, But like I said, like, how would you inspire somebody who maybe feels like they're depressed because they feel unemployable? And it went like, content flagged, and it would refuse to answer. It's like, wow, okay. What policy violation does that fall under? What would you tell someone who wants to be inspired about how to get a job? It's like, oh, I can't talk about that, but we can talk about stuff I can't mention. It's okay. So yeah, they got to kind of tweak it a little,